Hello. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if you can hear me okay or not hear me. All right. Thanks, Carolyn. Welcome to this week's edition of Root Watch. Look at that. Got a little frost on the chimney. Thinking about just letting it go. What do you guys think? I got a few questions over here that people have submitted beforehand, and of course, I'll be taking questions during this. So if you got a question, just post it over in the chat. We're in April somehow. March felt like it had about 60 days in it. But I think I'm past the stir crazy phase. I'm pretty good at doing nothing, actually. But had a couple of days where I was bummy and a couple of days where I kind of felt cagey. Jenica was feeling real stir crazy there in the first couple of weeks, but now we're just like nesting. So I think we're all right, and we're enjoying some quality time with Satchmo and little Pan. If you don't know who Pan is, he is this kitten that we've been fostering, and someone had asked, one of the questions that was submitted was, what was an unforeseen positive to come out of this quarantine? And I would say that I was a little hesitant to the whole idea because, as many of you have echoed, it seemed like a good way to end up with me owning a cat, but I can assure you that's not going to happen. I don't want to say never or no chance because who knows. But there's a 90+% chance that we will not own this cat. However, we will be trying to help these folks find a nice home for little Pan. So if you know anyone, especially in the Nashville area, who needs a kitten, let me know. He's trying really hard to turn me into a cat guy, and it's kind of working because it is. He is really sweet. He's kind of dog-like in that he's snuggly and he's social, and yeah, he's pretty great. I'm sure you want to see him. So, Pan, he's napping right now. Come here, little buddy. Come say hi to these people. Well, look at the camera. There you go. Oh yeah, you want to go on my shoulder? Okay. So that's Pan. Well, if you settle back there, they can't see you. What you doing, bud? Anyway, so this is my life. Satch, you want to come say hi to people? Come here, bud. Satch, come on up. Come on up, guys. We'll turn this way. Come here. Anyway, this is life. So there are worse ways to spend quarantine. And as you guys know, I'm a television fanatic. Good television. So I've just been binge watching various series. I'll have to post some recommendations for y'all. But yeah, this has kind of been it. So it's really not too bad. See if I can get Pan to come back and snuggle and be chill. Come here, little guy. There you go, buddy. Satch and Pan get along, which is just the most adorable thing in the world. Right, bud? Hi, guys. Anyway, I guess I should take some questions from y'all. Might have to do some scrolling up. Have you watched Bloodline on Netflix? Not only did we watch Bloodline, we vacationed in the Florida Keys to go see some of the locations where they filmed the Bloodline. That was a weird show, because I don't think there's a single character who is like redeeming. You know, they're kind of all crappy people, which is weird. Let me make sure I'm not missing any of the questions that were submitted before. That's right. Carolyn asked if I've been cooking any new dishes. Yes. I made what was a staple in my home growing up. For the very first time, I made it myself, which is chicken and dumplings. Turned out pretty good. I pretty much touched on the other two questions. Hi, bud. I also wanted to mention and encourage folks to support small businesses, and especially local businesses wherever you are during this time. If you're able to order from them and have it delivered and left on your porch, then I recommend doing that. I am currently enjoying this frosty matchless coffee soda. It's not for everybody, but I absolutely love it. Based right here in Nashville. And my new favorite hot sauce is this jalapeno business from Blister hot sauce. Blister is the brainchild of Jeremy and Richie Lister of Street Corner Symphony fame. And turns out they make an incredible hot sauce. They actually smoke the peppers themselves before they make the hot sauce, and it really retains that smoky flavor. It's unbelievable. So go to blisterhotsauce.com and order you up some hot sauce. I know y'all don't want to see me, so I'll just zoom down at Pan. What you doing, bud? Oh, you give me kisses? What a sweet boy. Yes, you are. All right. Who does more of the cooking? That would be me. But I've got to say, actually, Jenica did try out 2 new dishes the other day, and they came out really great. She made a soup, homemade soup from scratch, and she also did a kind of a stir fry. Sweet boy. My dumplings were more of like the noodle like dumplings. I like them all, but that's just the type that I grew up with. Where is Willow? Willow is with her mom and dad, who are our friends, Stephen and Susie. Stephen Glithero is the guy who painted my goofy likeness for last year's birthday bash. So check him out on Instagram at Glithero Media. And you can also follow Willow on Instagram. The redheaded Willow, something like that. Willow Nelson. All right, let's see. Any plans for Hillbillies versus Zombies Part 2? I feel like we're like well on our way to that being real life, some sort of odd post-apocalyptic existence. So who knows? Am I watching Survivor this season? Oh my God, am I ever? Uh, if you're watching Survivor this season, then you know that it's like an all-star season. It's all winners of Survivor. And I was late to the Survivor party. I didn't really watch it when it first aired, like the first, I don't know how many seasons, a lot. So, but once I tuned in, I kind of got hooked. So I ended up getting a CBS All Access membership, and I went back and was just like binge watching old seasons of Survivor. It's incredible. Um, so I, of course, fell in love with a lot of the contestants, and it's really cool to see them all come back this season. If you haven't kept up with Survivor, but you have watched it in the past, this is a good season to tune back in on. It's pretty impressive to watch the All Stars. Let's see if I missed any other questions. How could I not keep Pan? Well, logic and reason for the most part. How did things work out with the fundraiser for the Nashville tornado relief? Pretty well, actually. Of course, this whole pandemic kind of wiped that away from the forefront of people's minds. But we ended up raising quite a bit of money, just shy of our goal. And we were just having a conference call yesterday about how to disperse those funds. So I'm sure we'll be making an announcement of that pretty quick. Do you miss performing as much as we miss your performances? Yeah, of course. That's one of my favorite things about this job is getting to travel around the world and see so many of you. And yeah, it's been really weird. It was super jarring the way that the European tour ended. We ended up having to stay up till about 2 a.m. Germany time to watch the presidential address, and he announced that they were going to be locking things down and canceling flights from Europe. So poor Jenica had just taken a sleep aid. Luckily, our manager had had texted me and told me that presidential address was coming, so I stayed up for it. And then I had to wake up my zombie wife from a dead sleep and tell her that we had to book the first flight out. And so it was one of those weird things, you're in the middle of tour momentum, and then all of a sudden we're back home in Nashville, Tennessee, when we're supposed to still be on tour. So it was really bizarre. It's a hard thing to articulate, really. But it was pretty dizzying, that whole thing. Apart from just being delirious from lack of sleep. Yeah, it was really, really weird, and unfortunate, for all the fans that we hadn't gotten to yet over there, all of the UK, and yeah, it's just a bummer. It's one of the many downsides of this whole thing. Scroll up. I think I've hit all the questions from above. Anyone else got any new questions? Let me scroll back down here. Can you guys hear Pan playing in the background? How's Chris doing putting his life back together since the tornado? He's doing pretty well. Luckily he's a young single guy, and he makes a good living. So he was able to bounce back pretty well. But what an odd odd. Uh, yeah, he left, one house, went on tour, and then came home to a completely different house. He's got roommates. Um, and fortunately, they were all safe. Most of the houses here in Nashville don't have basements because the ground here is so rocky. It's really tough. And but a lot of the older houses, which are over in East Nashville, where the tornado went through, they do have basements, thankfully. So his roommates were able to get down to the basement. But if you saw any photos of his house, it was absolutely devastated. And so, um, he went on tour and then just came back to a completely different home altogether. They fortunately found a new place to live, but they moved as much of his stuff as they could, and then other friends of his kind of went and picked up some of his stuff from the house. So he had to collect, pieces of his belongings from all over Nashville at different friends' houses. Um, but yeah, how strange that was for him to just come back and your old house just doesn't exist anymore. But we're looking forward to being able to help him out a little bit and at least give him some funds for some of his things that can't be replaced. How much damage was there to our homes? The rest of us were fine. I think Austin got like a minimal damage. I think mostly cosmetic. Um, but his neighbors, some of his neighbors were absolutely demolished. Thankfully, no loss of life there, but some of them lost, homes and their barn, I think, and yeah, they're in pretty rough shape. So we're definitely going to be trying to help them out. We just missed you in Vienna. We had arrived from Prague shortly after you had already left for Munich. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess that's how the craziness all started. Um, we got to Vienna, and um, we were kind of just having lunch in the venue. Uh, Luckily, the crew hadn't started loading in yet, and then we got uh, word from the venue itself that all the shows in Austria were being canceled, and so we hightailed it to Munich because we were supposed to have a couple days off there following the Vienna show. And we thought, well, let's go ride this thing out in the hotel, in case Austria got locked down. And then, yeah, that night's when we stayed up and then saw the address and booked the first flight out. We got like the last few tickets on that plane, and the real troopers were our crew, Nate, Chris, and Josh, because not only did they not sleep, they had to go and pull all of the equipment out of the trailer that we had brought with us. So they worked, all night and into the morning. And also I dropped my laundry off at a wash and fold in Munich that didn't open up in time for me to go get it. So almost all of the clothes that I had brought with me, and most of my wife's clothes as well, are still in Germany. How do I like what's going on with Oak Island? That's kind of a guilty pleasure. It's a weird show, and at the end of this, they may not even find anything. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this island in Nova Scotia where there's this rumored buried treasure that people have been looking for hundreds of years. Um, And so there's a couple of brothers from Michigan who are out there now spearheading the latest efforts, and they've got a lot of friends and family and various sponsors helping them out. And they find just enough to keep me interested. My bandmates laugh at me. Chance thinks it's the most ridiculous thing, waste of time. Uh, but I it's a journey, not a destination, and I've had a great time along the way. They found some coins from the 1600s, and it's just I'm intrigued by wooden structures 100 feet underground. From hundreds of years ago. That alone is enough to keep me watching. Are my mom and sister safe? Yes, they are. They are sheltering in Southeast Texas. My mom occasionally still has to go up to the school because she's head of a department there to kind of get things organized. They're doing their best to try to keep educating the kids. They're getting creative, trying to figure out ways to have live video classes and stuff like that. But some of these kids don't even have a home Wi-Fi, so that's proved tricky. But yeah, right now everyone's safe and healthy, which is the main thing. I'm not going to run for president anytime soon, anyway. If I were a professional wrestler, what would my walkout song be? Uh, Living on a Prayer. That is very sweet. I appreciate the offer to pick up my laundry. Um, Someone from let's see, I think it was the German promotional company went and picked it up. So they're just hanging on to that for the time being. Do I know what happened to the European merch? I haven't really gotten an update about that. I know a lot of it we had to leave behind and we brought back what we could. It's a good question. We got a conference call again tomorrow, so I'll find that out. Some of it might still just be sitting behind that club we were supposed to play at in Munich. So go see. Ever watch Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates? Absolutely. I wish they would add more seasons of it to Hulu. I've watched all the seasons that they've put on there. That was my go to sleep show for the longest time. After I watched all of Ancient Aliens. Donna Hall asks if I'm doing any writing. You know what? I haven't done any writing yet. I've always got ideas bouncing around in my head, so I'll probably sit down and organize them at some point. Nate came over a couple days ago and tuned our piano. That's kind of an interesting story. The piano that is in our house was actually the childhood piano of our soundman, Chris. And it wasn't getting any use in his house. His house can tend to be a little bit like a frat house. And so he decided it should go to a more loving home. And so we took it right before we left for the European tour. And then thankfully we did, because of course his house got demolished. And so, yeah, we saved his childhood piano, but it needed a tune up. So Nate came over and he just tuned it. So I'm sure I'll be tinkering around on that thing. Maybe I'll go live and play a song for y'all at some point. Again, I guess you probably don't have anything better to do, but I'm thrilled nonetheless. Trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Yeah, I see a lot of people posting about how they have tickets for some upcoming shows, and as far as we know, the what's posted will still be happening. That's one of the weirdest parts about this whole thing. It's just the indefinite uncertainty. It's very unsettling. Maybe a Billy Joel song on the piano. Maybe. I can play a couple of the easier ones. My piano chops are nowhere near the level of Billy Joel. Would we ever want to put a version of Murder on Broadway? I don't know what that is, so I'll have to check it out. I did. I did send a tripod for iPhone to my guitarist and vocalist and frequent collaborator Chris Chatham. If you've been to a birthday bash or seen any photos or videos from that, it's always Jenica, Chris Chatham, and me who are kind of the core group that perform at the birthday bash. And so I sent him a tripod in hopes that maybe we can do some remote collaboration. So stay tuned for that. I also am in the process of setting up an account on Cameo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cameo or not. But I've had, a few people reach out about birthday messages and stuff like that during this time. Folks are trying to get creative and figure out a way to still make special occasions special during this time. And so I thought maybe that would be a good idea. So anyway, if you've got any kind of special occasion coming up, a birthday or anniversary or anything like that, stay tuned for my Cameo account where you can hire me to, uh, you know, record a exclusive message for someone special or for yourself or sing happy birthday or whatever. I don't know how this thing will shake out, but it seemed like a good idea. Any chance of Home Free doing a song during this time? Yeah, we're kind of working out how to be able to do that. We're waiting on some shipments for some creative home recording setups, ways that we'll be able to interface with Darren from Minnesota to wherever we are. Most of us don't know enough about engineering a session to be able to record ourselves adequately, but I think we've found out a way that that we can actually that he can produce us from home. So we'll see. We'll be standing in our closets, I guess, and figuring out how this will work. The hardest part is being able to shoot music videos for these things and not have them look like garbage. So we're trying to come up with some ways to do that as well. Hopefully we can at least do some old school acapella, like Floating Heads, Brady Bunch box videos. Otherwise, we've been toying around with the idea of maybe releasing a lyric video here and there or something like that, just to be able to give you guys new content via Patreon. So let me know if that sounds like something you guys would be interested in. If you'd settle for a lyric video until we can actually get around to shooting a full-fledged music video for you guys. Have you ever played at the Bluebird? I have not. I don't really know how that would work. I would love to do it, but I would have to bring a portable keyboard, I guess. We had we had brought Sammy along with us to Europe to capture a lot of the behind the scenes tour. Um, and of course, she got to. It was a lot, and so I guess we'll be releasing a behind the scenes at some point. Just the trials and tribulations of a overseas tour to begin with, and then of course featuring this whole pandemic and the fallout from that as well. But we might be able to use some of that footage as well to supplement a music video during this time. All right, some people are saying they'd settle for home video footage, so all right, we'll see what we can do. But first, we've got to be able to record. We've got a few things arranged, uh, but until that gear shows up, we don't have a way to start tracking. Any other questions? Are y'all impressed that I actually wore colors for you? That I'm not just in black and gray? Good year. I don't know if I'm backwards on your screen or not. I'm backwards on my screen, but it says 1981. Do you guys still have one or two videos in store for Patreon? Um, I think Go Rest High is the last one that we have in the can, and that'll be premiering tomorrow. I know y'all have seen it, but we'll be premiering it for everyone else tomorrow, and we'll be setting up a watch party. So hopefully y'all can tune book and or YouTube. Please share that thing like crazy so that it gets some traction early on. But I think a few of us are going to be tuning in for the watch party as well, so we can all chat a little bit there. I don't know what time that's going to be happening just yet, but stay tuned. What about the birthday bash? I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It's all it's anyone's guess right now. The hardest part about that is this is normally the time when we would be rehearsing for that. Um, my guitarist lives out in LA, but right now he luckily he got home to the Pittsburgh area, so he's with his parents right now, locked up. And we'll see. I mean, if you've been to a bash before, you know that there's a lot of always some surprise artists that come, and we try to put together some fun collaborations in the meantime too. So right now during this shelter in place order, it's extra tricky. So we'll see. I keep going back and forth on whether or not we should still try to make it happen. The main reason I want to make it happen at this point is so that I can actually hire some of my musician friends have been. It's like when my family texts me and asks me a home free related question, I'm like, I don't know this stuff. What we should do during this time, if we can't make anything else happen for a while, is we should just release one of Darren's demos for you guys to hear. Many of you know that our Master Rust, we'll call him, we're like his Padawans. Darren Rust is just an absolute genius, and he's got an incredible range. So when we have him record a song, he actually sings all the parts on a demo. So hopefully we can release one of those to you guys at some point, even if it's a one we've already done, just so you can hear how it sounds. It's pretty impressive. Let us know about European merch. I will. Curious about that myself. Well, unless anyone has any last minute questions, I guess I will. I guess I'll end this stream here pretty soon. Yeah, we are coming up with some new merch ideas at the moment as well. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Oh, someone just said video is freezing. Will there ever be a stream with the whole group together again? Yes. I think we did one while we were in Europe. But I don't know. I guess we'd have to get creative with Zoom or something like that. But there's a lot of ideas flying around right now, and we're doing our best to figure out how to make that happen with two guys in Minnesota, two guys here, and Chance out in LA. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully this helped break up the monotony. And yeah, I'll be going live again from time to time. I know that Nate kind of has this weekly live thing he's doing as well, and yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot of outside the box content from Home Free in the near future. So thanks again for your support, and thank you guys for joining me here. If I didn't get to your question, feel free to tweet it at me, and I'll answer it there. But thank y'all so much for being here, and we'll chat soon. Stay sane.